We are back. Hopefully, without any issues this time. I have no clue why we dropped out. Internet and all that is fine. Wi-Fi is good. Not dropping any frames, so I'm not sure why it cut out on me there. That is okay. We are back though. Let's get us some view here. Nah, it's not you. Not you. I'm back. It was me for some reason. I'm actually not sure why I dropped out of the stream. Everything was good, and then like no drop frames either, and all of a sudden just it cut out. So I'm not sure if just maybe the weather changed a little bit there and messed with some things, but it seems to be a nice clear day, so I'm not sure. I actually don't know. Well, this is gonna be still part one. This is not the second live stream. It's still part one of the live stream. There, set this back up. Send another invite. You are still part of the giveaway there, Dan. So, just saying, if you just want to subscribe, or if you're already a subscriber, you're still part of the giveaway. This is still part one, though. So, I will make either a note of that, or I'm just going to go back through my streams and check out all the people that actually commented and see if they're a subscriber. If you are a subscriber and commented, you're part of the giveaway. Now I have to resend invite because it changed over. It's really annoying why I did that. I'm not sure why it cut out on me like that. Usually if it cuts out, and it will reconnect to the live stream, but it wouldn't even let me reconnect to the live stream, which is kind of odd. I think I did that right, yeah. All right, we are back. Make sure we are right with the live stream here. We back. This is still a live giveaway, or live stream giveaway. You just need to be a subscriber and comment, and it's your chance to get a Xeon LGA 1366, Xeon X5570, free in Canada. But if you're outside of Canada, there will be a $15 shipping charge, just because shipping's crazy as soon as you go outside of Canada. It's also pretty bad when you go into the Yukon, or Northwest T, and it still is, it's cheap. But as soon as you go to like Northwest Territories or Yukon, it's just absolutely insane. So we will continue checking out things. Make sure we're still logged in here. There we go. Okay, we're still logged in. We're still good. This is for the Country Cup 2024. We have 10 days, 15 hours, and 18 minutes until the competition starts. I do like doing the Country Cup 2024. Check out the CPU. I've already checked these out, but I want to check again. 7-zip is a fun one to do. We need to use 1, 2, and 5 processor cores in total. So core unlocking allowed, disabling cores not allowed. So it has to be a 1 core, a 2 core, or a 5 core processor. Which a 1 core is easy to do, a 5 core is not easy, and a 2 core should be easy enough to do. I have been looking at some AM3 Plus motherboards, so I can do my FX bulldozers and my Athlons. Well, not really my bulldozers, but my Athlons, the 64. Which will be a 2. I do have a 2 core Athlon. Might have a single core Athlon too. We'll see. Welcome back to the live stream. If you're a subscriber or not subscriber, you can subscribe and comment, and your chance to win a Xeon X5570 in Canada is going to be free. Outside of Canada will be a $15 charge. If you'd like me to pass it on to somebody else, if I do pull out your name from the comments and want me to pass it on, I'll shoot you a message and all that, and we can get somebody else to take it. Verification screenshot is pretty normal. No mobile, laptop, or server CPUs allowed unless specifically stated. Okay. So that's good. I deal with desktop stuff. I don't use laptops. I don't use cell phone mobiles or anything like that. And server CPUs are not allowed. So if I do get an AM3 Plus motherboard, I still will be able to do it. You get them for about $50 or so. Hopefully the sound is good. Let me know if the sound is not reverby, sounds pretty good. Just let me know. Sounds pretty good on my end here, so. Use only AMD processors, use different CPU cores. Core disabling is allowed. So this is for Geekbench 5 single core. So if you disable cores, you can get a different ratio on the actual overclocking, which can help give you a more stable, higher clock rate on some CPUs, some CPUs don't really scale very well, so you have to pick and choose wisely if you do have the right CPU. And again, no mobile, laptop, or server CPUs allowed. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know there, Dan. And we'll check out 3D Mark CPU Profile Max. Not really my favorite. It is a pretty stressful test. That's why I like 7-zip. It's not a super stressful test, but 3D Mark CPU Profile Max is pretty stressful. So I'll use only processors using LGA 1155, LGA 1200, LGA 1700, which I have LGA 1155 and LGA 1700. I don't have any LGA 1200 CPUs. I would love to test them. They are pretty power hungry and they get really hot, basically, the LGA 1200s. The 1700s are hot, but they're not like the 1200s. That's for sure. Pretty simple. Again, no mobile, laptop, server CPUs allowed unless specifically specified. Use 6, 12, and 24 core processors in total. No E-core disabling is allowed. So I cannot use my 12600K. I can't, no server CPUs allowed, so I can't use any of my server CPUs. That kind of sucks because I have a lot of Xeons. 24 core, I don't have my 13900 KF anymore, so I can't participate in this one currently. That's okay. Y Cruncher is a very stressful test, by the way. Very, very stressful. If you want to have, make sure you have stability on your RAM and your CPU, that's a good test to be running, which is a Y Cruncher. Let's go Hyderabad X265, 1080p. It's not crazy. Using only FM1, FM2, and FM2 Plus. So like your Athlons and older CPUs. It's older, definitely older. Yeah, so I probably won't be doing that one because I'm not going to get a motherboard just for running those. Simbench 2024. Use only Intel, maximum 24 cores, of course. So you won't be able to use any servers again, so no servers. But you can use up to a 13 or 14900K or KF, or even 14900, which is quite nice. And no E-cores disabling allowed. They're making this competition a little different than last year, that's for sure. That's good. Now we're gonna do GPU. What we got? APUs. So we got APUs. Use only processors FM2, FM2 Plus, and AM4. APUs only. No discrete graphic cards are allowed. So can you can run a graphics card in your system if you wanted to, but you have to disable it during the test and only use the GPU that's built into the actual CPU. So some CPU architects have a slot or a spot dedicated for the graphics card. That's why it's an APU. So multiple choices though: AM4, AM2 Plus, and AM or FM2. So that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. I don't have any of those, of course. I am more of an Intel person just because if you like to game and if you like to overclock, Intel's the way to go, to be honest. If you're not going into like extremely pricey stuff of servers or hardcore workstations, then AMD will give run for the money basically for some things. Only for some things though. Okay, really. It's hot out today, so these flies are really freaking annoying. 3D Mark Vantage Performance AMD GPU family. Only make submissions with AMD video card. I am looking at a RX 580 right now for about 40 bucks, which I would like to grab again because they're just fun to overclock. Good old Polaris. Solar Bay I have record for, so let's see what we can do. Oh, the following graphic cards are not allowed, so no 4070s, no 4070 Ti Supers, no 4080 Supers, no 4090s. Okay, so no new NVIDIA graphics cards. That's fine. It's fine with me. I can do my 1080 Ti, I can do my 2080 Super, and I can do my 3070 Ti, which is modded. So I could probably get a pretty good score for this one here. And what we got, use one video card cores in total, so you cannot use any dual GPUs and you cannot do any dual what do you want to call it, dual core CPU or GPUs. They're just not allowed, so you have to use like a normal graphics card basically with one GPU core or just one graphics card. Yeah, so pretty simple on that one actually for Cinebench 2024 GPU. 3D Mark 2001 second edition is use only AMD. Crossfire is allowed, so someone's selling RX 580 for 40, another one's selling RX 580 for 50 bucks, and they're same cards. I'll think about it, see if I can sell a couple more CPUs, and I would pay for that. So that's cool. Steel Nomad is actually like that test. It looks really good, and it's a more stressful test, and it's the Vulcan mode, so that's pretty cool. So only make submissions with NVIDIA. With NVIDIA video cards, use only one video card cores in total. So again, only one graphic card with one GPU core is allowed. Pretty simple though. UL benchmark verification link is required. And you gotta make sure you have things set up and validate properly to these specs. You don't have to have the newest of the new, but you have to have at least GPU Z version 2.55 or newer and CPU Z 2.0 tabs for CPU, motherboard, and memory tab open on your screen for the screenshot. It's pretty simple. When I do these tests, I will be showing how to put in actual, proper screenshots and verifications. Not all competitions are the same, and they will request you to do it off of what they want for that test. Okay, then we go to competition. We'll check out memory. Memory is a fun one. RAM timings are kind of what I do. I know a lot about RAM timings, either for primary or secondary timings. So memory frequency Y cruncher 2.5 billion stable. So you got to have at least 24 gigs of memory, basically. Or I think 16 gigs works. It's just not very good. If anyone's new to the live chat, you just gotta be a subscriber and message in the live chat here, and you could win a LJ1366 Xeon X5570 free of charge in Canada. But if it's gonna be out in the States or anywhere in the world, there will be a $15 charge for that. Just because shipping's just an insane price. And yes, Dan, I did read your message there. The shipping anywhere outside of your own country right now is absolutely insane. I sold a small vintage graphics card to the Yukon territories, and it cost me, with my discount on eBay, because I have a 100% selling rate, it still cost me over $21 for the shipping, and it weighed less than a pound, and the box was very small. So, and if I use like FedEx or something like that, it would have cost me $183 or $203 for FedEx ground. So, absolutely insane. Use only DDR3 SD RAM, DDR4, and DDR5. So, CPU. Okay, so this is one of the things you got to read when doing this kind of thing right here. CPU Z validation link matching the clocks from benchmark score window, a 0.1% tolerance. So, uh, verifications, you can go up more than this 0.1%, but they want a 0.1% tolerance. So, you got to make sure you check that before submitting your scores, because if this tolerance is a 0.2, they will not accept it. Just, you got to make sure everything's set up. Your times, your windows, and all that needs to be set up properly to make sure it's all updated. Your times, your dates, onto everything that you run on your computer has to be like set. It has to be set correct. Your benchmate will have to be set up to make sure that it is at a 0.1% tolerance. It just makes sure the verification and the validation on it is very, very tight. Makes sense though, because some of these tests are, people have, what do you want to call it, put in fake submissions before, so they got to do what they got to do to make sure that everything's validated proper, and that way people aren't going to be put in fake submissions, basically, because it has happened over the past, and people, you know, like to do that kind of stuff for some reason. So just make sure you read. If you're into this kind of stuff, just make sure you read on each different test that you're doing, and make sure you're going off what they want. DDR4 and DDR5 submissions must have validated tag at the CPU-Z validator page. No XOC mode. So no extreme OC mode, which will make it so CPU-Z runs at the lowest state for the CPU, so that way it has like less chance of crashing. Basically, that is not allowed. It has to be a perfectly validated CPU-Z validator. So like straight from you go click on submit and then you validate it. You cannot go into like save your stuff to a flash drive and then do it that way. They will not allow that. You have to validate right then and there. Makes sense though. Makes sense. And we'll just check out some messages here. Glad you can make the stream. Make sure I'm still live on the chat. Sometimes my phone doesn't like to keep up, but it seems like everything's working pretty good, so I'm happy about that. Okay, that's for Y Cruncher for memory. Y Cruncher. Geekbench 3 Multicore is one of my favorites. I do have a professional key for that one, so I did pay for it. I am a contributor to a bunch of these tests. These really annoying me. Sorry about that. I do contribute to these people that have made these tests. A lot of these tests are old, and they still do take either donations and or you can pay for the professional. I do pay for all the professional type keys for it. So for like 3D Mark, I have professional keys for it. So any new test that comes out, I get that test for free, and it's a one-time thing you can pay. Does not cost a whole lot, but to some people it does cost a bit. But if you're into this kind of stuff, it's worth it in my opinion that you're contributing to the people that took their time out of either their day to do it and or to some companies, because some of these tests are literally made by one person. So I like to contribute to that. It's just might help them out a bit. It only costs a couple dollars for some things, like this Geekbench 3 only costs $6. So just to have that professional, so that way you can switch from 32-bit to 64-bit. You can get a little bit more performance depending on what Windows you're running on. I like to run it on Windows 10, a certain version of Windows 10, and I strip that version right down to bare bones, so that way I can get the best scores possible. Again, donating to them is very helpful, so I like to do that. But again, I do this stuff for fun and trying to get into being one of the best, basically. I am first place for Apprentice League in Canada, and I am top 5 in Canada right now for overclockers. Not for the world, though. Close to top 100 for the world, which is pretty good still. So we got multi-core. Again, this is Geekbench 3, one of my favorites. It's an older one. It's a very quick test, but it goes through a whole bunch of things. So use only DDR3, 4, and 5 again. Use Primate Labs verification link is required. And again, these things are fairly standard for the CPU tabs, CPU, memory, and SPD tab. Fairly standard for that one. So times by, it's not times by GPU, but times by extreme for the CPU part, because they'll give you a CPU portion and the GPU portion. This one is for the CPU. And we're going to do processors with AM4, TR4, so that is your thread rippers. So you TRX, those are all your thread rippers, LJ 1200, 1700, so I can go into this one already. Oh, processors, all these are forbidden. Oh wait, they're all forbidden. Use up to 10 processor cores allowed. Never mind, processors with AM4, TR4, LG are forbidden. That's fine. I can use my Xeons. I can do 6-core, 12-thread Xeon. My X5650 I can do, or my X5667, which is a 4-core, but I'll be able to maybe overclock a little more. I do have a really good X5650 though, so, and it's lapped already, which is ready to go for hardcore overclocking. So maybe I'll use that. We'll see. Click. What are you doing? Thank you. Again, pretty standard URL benchmark verification and your CPU Z 2.0 tabs for CPU memory and SPD. Fairly standard. That's for times by extreme. PY Prime 32B. It's a fairly long test for some things, so we'll see what we're allowed. Total memory size should be 6, 8, and 16 gigs, up to 16 gigs of memory, which is just fine. 6 gigabytes. Submission must be a triple channel, so 2 gigabyte per stick. LJ1366 submission only. Xeons allowed. Perfect. So I don't have any. Oh yes, I do. I do have a bunch of 2 gig sticks. They're just really bad for overclocking, so that kind of sucks. Although someone's selling a whole whack of RAM sticks right now for like 20 bucks. Maybe I'll pick up them and see if any of them are good. And SuperPi 32M, which is another long test. Use only DDR3, SDRAM, DDR, SDRAM, and DDR2 SDRAM memory. So I could do DDR3, of course. And it doesn't have any other things, so you just gotta make sure you're using DDR3, DDR2, or DDR. Pretty simple. And we'll go to tweaking. So we can do Pi 1B, processor speed limit to, so again, they limit your processor speed so you can only hit 5.5 gigahertz for your processor. Use 8 processor cores in total. Different CPU and memory needs to be used. So if you're like, this is Country Cup, right? So let's say someone else in my country uses the exact same as mine and they have a better score, that'll kick my score off the board, which is fine. It's fine. It helps out the country, right? This is for the Country Cup, but I like to make sure I get some points for myself as well because it does add into my overall. No core disabling allowed. Yeah, so it has to be an 8 core. Has to be an 8 core processor. So like a i9 9900K, i9 or i7 9700K, I believe it is. Has to be at least an 8 core. It could be 8 core 16 thread or an 8 core no hyper threading. That's fine. Everything's fairly standard for this. Again, for CPU, motherboard, memory tab. PiFast. They're limited to 5 gigahertz processor speed. Use only processors AM3 plus, AM4, and AM5. Core disabling is allowed. So that's good for some people. I don't have these. I don't have AM3 plus, AM4, AM5. Let's see. 3D Mark 11 physics. They're allowing you to go up to 6 gigahertz by the looks of it. Use 6, 12, and 16 core. Up to 6 gigahertz max. No E-core disabling allowed. So you can do a 13700K, which is, I believe, a 12 core. Pretty sure. Is it 12 core? Or 12700K might be a 12 core. I'll have to recheck that. I'm pretty sure one of those is the correct one here. Again, everything's pretty standard again on that one. You got to use a URL benchmark verification link. No E-cores. Tabs for CPU, motherboard, memory tab. CL28, so that's your RAM. It has to be CL28. Whatever. So here, memory cache latency, TCAS, has to be 28. I can get mine to 26, so 28 should be no problem, and I should be able to get fairly good. Processor speed limit to 5 gigahertz. My CPU easily hits 5 gigahertz, very chill. Different CPU memory needs to be used. I do have different memory kits for DDR5, so I could probably get a fairly good score for this, which will help out my country and myself, because this will be the last competition of the year, which is the Country Cup. Generally is the last one. 10 days and 14 hours. So November 1st, I believe it starts. Let's see. Yep, November 1st it starts, and it ends December 20th. And then we'll check out this one again. Yeah, 28, 5 gigahertz, and yeah, everything's pretty standard. And that will be the competition for Country Cup 2024. Again, I am 5th in Canada. I am Apprentice League currently, and I am in 1st place. Have been for a very long time this year. I've been fairly standard or pretty much 1st place all year for that. And I've been pretty much 4th and 5th place all year. I was 1st for a while, but there's a couple of players in all the leagues here. So Salty Croissant, Exit Berries, Pablo, and Felty Ham. Salty Croissant is absolutely insane, of course. He always has been since he started doing this. But he's also in Team WEG. Same with Exaberries and Pablo, also WEG. Feltingham's in Warp 9, and I am in my own team, Cold Canadians, 5th place. And it looks like GT 403 is catching up to me pretty quick here. So I do need to get a couple of more tests done, just so that way I can keep up on my 5th place. Him and I have been going back and forth. Felty was lower, but he's picked it up again and passed me. It is just fine, though. That is all part of being in a competition and part of, you know, having a good hobby. I have 6 records, 8 silvers, 14 bronze, and 24 4th and 5th place. How's it going, Austin? You are also part of the Xeon X5570 giveaway, by the way. If you are a subscriber as well. If not, just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, and during these 10 live streams, this is part 1 of the live streams. There was another live stream that cut out for some reason, but this is part 1 of the live stream. After 10 live streams, I'm going to be randomly going through all the chats, checking out to see who is a subscriber and who has chatted into the live chat, and there'll be an X5570 giveaway. I will message that person. I can either set up the Discord again and do it that way, or figure out a way to do it through YouTube. Hopefully everyone's having a good day, by the way. Yeah, so it looks like this competition for the Country Cup 2024 is going to be pretty good. I am happy about that. What did I do? Let's see, let's check out the Team Cup here. I'm pretty sure I got 27th. Yeah, I got 27th place. Again, I'm the only one in my team, so getting 27th place is actually pretty good. There was over 200 participants in it, so being top 27 out of that is pretty good when I'm by myself. If we check out Team Bulgaria here, they have a lot of team members, or nope, not Team Bulgaria. My bad. Who has a lot of? I clicked on the right one. Yeah, there's a lot of. Who just beat me? Belgium, I think it was. Nope. There's a team that's above me, but they have 50,000 team members, so I kind of get why they're above me. Not sure where they went. But if you know anything about, what's his name? Hardware Canucks as well. I don't know what happened to them, 0 points there, but Gamers Nexus. If you guys ever watched Gamers Nexus, I beat Gamers Nexus. That's right. 63 members, and I beat them by myself. Ha! I don't know. I don't think they tried or really even cared about this competition, really. Team WEG, of course, they won. They're just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. My PC part knowledge is pretty limited. How does the Xeon X5570 rank? I will show you right here, buddy. I will show you right here. As long as you can see the screen just fine, I can show you. So we'll search up X5570. I only have 1 score in the X5570 right now. It is a first place, by the way. It scores up pretty close to a 3770K, by the way. It scores up pretty close to it. I only got up to 4.18 gigahertz. I can easily beat this score. This is not a good score. It's not a good score. I just wanted to beat the 2 other people that did this. That's all. So 27,594 is the score there, and it goes pretty close to 3770K, by the way, at 4.1 gigahertz, almost 4.2. And it's very, very easy to get it up to that. You can do air-cooled for that. I did have it on AIO, but it's not lapped. It's not even a good AIO, and it only had 2 fans on it. So, again, it was a very, very easy score to do. But it does fare up to a 3770K. My 3770K is a lot higher because it was overclocked to what 5.1 or 5, at least 5 gigahertz during this test. And right here, 37. It's 10,000 more points, but it's overclocked. Yeah, 5 gigahertz on this test with way better overclocking on the RAM as well. Like I said, the X5570, it was just a quick test just to barely beat the other people that were doing it. And my 3770K is outbeating 4790Ks, by the way. So, as you can see, 4790K, I'm beating 4790K, 4790K. This i7 2600K, by the way, is on liquid nitrogen. So, I'm on water. As you can see with the picture, 1080 Ti here, everything's on water. There you go. It's what this again, the overclocking on the RAM for this test helps a lot. This was a fairly good overclock for this RAM kit that I have. I can do better now. I found out a way to get these sticks to do a bit more better timings on it, which will help the score as well. But with the X5570, it was just a very quick test, very basic. If we go against like another LGA, so I don't know if I have any scores on it. I7, 920. All right, let's do 930. So let's do the i7 930. Yeah, okay, I got one test. One test. So R20. So Simbench R20, 13, 17. Not good. It's CL9, yeah, but it's only at 1460 on the RAM and it only hit 4 gigahertz. So it's not, again, not crazy, but we're going against the X5570. And the X5570 scales very well, by the way. So we'll go against another one. So here you go. So it compares very close to a i7 930 at 4.2 and 98 on load though. This had a really bad, yeah, it's really bad setup for this. As you can see, yeah. I don't know what he was using for, looks like a cooler. Yeah, he was using basically the cooler that I had, just only a 240 by the looks of it. Same motherboard that I use for my overclocking though. For the LJ1366. It's just a really good motherboard for overclocking. You can switch over some rails on it with a jumper so that way you can do more voltage on the RAM and the CPU. So it can be very helpful. Again, very basic though. Basically, same exact timings as the i7 930 and basically the exact same score. So it's pretty close to an i7 930, which is another LGA 1366. Or to a fairly stock or slightly overclocked 3770K. Again, it scales well. So like you overclock it and either put it down to 2 cores, it scales well. So like the more voltage you give it, the higher clock rate you'll get, and the more scaling you get, as in it actually will keep giving you more performance. There are some CPUs where you can overclock the absolute snot out of them and you'll gain a couple points. This one here, you actually keep gaining a large portion of, it's very efficient in a way. Holy messages, people. Hello, 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 people. I'm not sure if you're still here, but hello. It wasn't a live chat, but people are sending messages everywhere here. It is a 4-core 8-thread. The X5570 is a 4-core 8-thread as well. And all these CPUs that I have, the X5570s, are from a very reputable seller that I buy my Xeons from. They are not heavily used, and they're used in servers that have been well ventilated and cooled. They're basically fairly close to new. Very scratch free, no dents, no issues with the actual LGA padding, the land grid array padding on the back, so the gold plating is still perfect. So that's why I do sell them, and sell them to people that have their own servers or home servers and that, or their own dual servers, quad CPU servers. I sell them to them because they know I am a reputable seller, again 100% rating on eBay. So, and that is the way I'm gonna keep it. Maybe I should put it in the chat too, like actually type out in the chat here, like if you just want to be a participant and get a free X5570, just gotta be a subscriber and just send a hey or something or a question in the chat. At least during one of the 10 live streams that I do. This is part 1, so, and you could win a X5570. Disk. I don't think I have the greatest storage benchmark. Yeah, it's not the greatest. 58th overall for a single disc, but I'm using my 980 Pro. I can do way better, right? You can do better, but I'm using my 980 Pro here. It's quick, but it's not that quick. The way you can do it for quicker is setting it up into a different kind of like either into a raids type system or switching it from IDE to another way to do it. You don't gain much though, but I'm okay with that. Oh, global. Global. It's 67th or 62nd. It's okay. But to get more points, you'd have to put into like a raid type system. Stay. Stay, phone. Stay. Oh, God. Phone, just listen to me. Please. There. That's probably what I should do is more X5570. So maybe for the next live stream, I'll overclock an X5570. And I don't have a capture card yet. Phone, please. Please. I don't have a capture card yet, so I'll have to figure out a way to set it up. But hopefully here I'll have a capture card and we can do things a little bit more professional for the streaming or video. What do you want to check out now? Processors. R20, R23 here. 44. 44,000 is my best score so far. Again, I'm not on liquid nitrogen or dry ice, so my scores are up around the liquid nitrogen and dry ice area, but if I did do liquid nitrogen and dry ice, I could probably get some really nice scores. I'm pretty good with the voltage tuning on the CPU cores, and I'm really good at RAM tuning. So it's a lot of hours for RAM tuning though, so that's probably why I'm pretty good at. So Geekbench 3, almost 60,000 points is my best with a 10 core. A 4 core would be my i7 3770K. I'm not sure what CPU I was using, or not CPU. What Windows I was using. Yeah, okay. I don't care about that. Yeah, Windows 10 Pro with 8 gigs of DDR3, so I could probably do better if I had more RAM or better RAM. What we got for RAM clocks: 9, 12, 12, 21, 120. Yeah, I could probably do better. It is at a one-time command rate, which is pretty good, but I can do better already. I know I can. This is only at about 2200 megahertz on DDR3 CL9. I could probably do better now. I have done a lot more tuning for DDR3 since I've done this test. Oh, kicking a server fan. 7070 watt TDP. Oh, I wish I could see the memory. I like to check out. Oh, no, that'd be Geekbench 6. Let's check out Geekbench 6. So we can check out Geekbench 6 on the same thing. Probably 30. No, my i5 2400. My i5 2400 overclocked to almost 4.1 gigahertz. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good score. So I'm right around an i7 870 or pretty close to an i5 3570K, which is pretty good. But what I like to do, oh yeah, I can check it out actually right here. So what we can do is go down, and what you can check is, oh, this maybe, I don't think I can check it here. Flash sucks. I can't check it here. Okay, that's fine. Geekbench 3 it is, I guess then. I'm not sure why, but thought it was Geekbench 6. Guess not. So Geekbench 3, we can go down to the memory performance, and we can check out the actual memory performance. So multi-core and single-core performance on it. And with my 12600K here, with the memory performance, I almost hit 14,000 on the multi, which is really good. It's really good. 71,000 on the floating multi-core, 70,000 on the integer performance. It's pretty good. Almost hit 60,000 points. Hopefully before the end of this year, I can rerun this test and beat this 59,000 and do hopefully 60,000 on it, which will be quite nice for me. Yeah, what I like, Geekbench 3 right here. Yeah, memory performance. Try to get around 13 to 14,000 on the memory core. So that's your actual memory, right? So if you can get that up higher as well, you can generally get your score up quite a bit. But yeah, that's pretty good. I'm quite happy about that. So we can get rid of display here. We can get rid of the filter. No more bubblehead me. And we can do full screen again. All right. That's how it goes. How it go for the competition. Again, if you're just joining this live stream, there is a giveaway of an X5570 free to anyone in Canada. Shipping anywhere else besides Canada will be $15 shipping charge. It only helps cover a little portion of it, as anywhere else in besides Canada is a lot for shipping. And my phone is not keeping up. Come on, phone. Live, please. What is wrong with you? I am out in the country right now, so good old Starlink, good old Elon Musk. It's okay. It's not that great though. It's almost 5:30. It's almost 5:30. I might stream again later on today. I might make it still part one, or I might make it part two of the live stream. Hopefully, stream for a bit longer. If you're new to the live stream here, if you're a subscriber and you comment in the comment feed there, you have a chance to win an X5570. If you don't want to be part of it but still want to do that, you can just let me know if I do pick out your name to pass it on. There is a pass on thing, so that way somebody else can actually get the X5570 that actually wants it. I do want to pick up a capture card though here, so that's why I'm selling some things. So hopefully I can make some money just to buy a capture card that's on sale. I don't want to get a cheap one as they only have a pass-through rate of 1080p or 4K, but to actually stream or record, it goes down to 720p. I do all my stuff in 1080p or 4K, so I try to do everything in 4K if I can. Streaming, it automatically knocks me down to 1080p, which is just fine, but I record and stream in 4K. I still have my DAS, my direct attached storage. It's still torn apart. I haven't sanded it down yet. I have to get paint for it, so like actual paint, matte finish paint. As all I have here is a gloss finish, and I don't want a gloss finish. I want it to be an actual matte finish. Just looks better on a PC or anything with a PC case, because every PC case is a matte finish. So something like something like my actual PC case here. It's actually like a matte finish, so the glossy finish just doesn't look as good. At least in my opinion. Some people might have their own preferences on that. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in there. Yeah. But I also have a bunch of other PC cases, plus my one server case I would like to paint up. Might paint up my other server case, my 3 unit, 3U. But I'm probably gonna do my actual like GPU. It's like a minor case, but it's an actual server case that I use. I do want to build a nice little NAS, or I might make my dual Xeon server that I have, dual CPU Xeon server. It's all pre-made. It's an HP ProLiant ML 350 or 360 G6. I might make that into my NAS. I do pay for Unraid. Oh, paid for Unraid. It's already installed onto an actual flash drive. I use a 32 gigabyte flash drive. That's a really good flash drive. So that way there's no issues with the drive actually failing. If you get a really good flash drive, less chances of something going wrong with it. Because you just gotta plug it in inside the actual case on this motherboard. It actually has a USB slot for like Unraid and stuff like that. I don't know. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. My day was fairly good. I threw out my back yesterday, so I've been trying to keep not doing too much, but I've been doing quite a bit, so hopefully I can relax the rest of the night. Might even build another PC to stream on and clean out my main PC, like actual clean out the water loop, the D5 pump, tear it down, clean it up, and the radiator, flush it out. Clean the actual mono block that I have. It's not a CPU block, but a mono block. It's a very big copper and acrylic block for motherboard and CPU cooling. It does need to be cleaned. Everything else, I've already redone my GPU. It's cleaned out, rethermal pasted up, copper pads redone up on the memory. But I would like to clean up a bunch of things for it. And get it situated so that way I can put the pump on the inside. I just have to make a stand for the actual pump itself and move the fans to the outside of the case because it doesn't actually have the front decor piece basically for it. Lost that in one of the moves, so don't have that. Just fine though. It's an old case. I paid I think $45 for. It's an EVGA case though. I'm a very big EVGA fan, at least for the graphics cards. They do make some pretty good cases though, and their power supplies are highly recommended. Um, I've been streaming for over an hour now, so I might call a stream here, but we'll see. We'll see. I might be able to stream for a bit longer. That way we can get maybe some more chats in the chat. Maybe some subscribers that actually want to message in the chat and win the X5570. If so, just message in the live chat. I'll say hi. You can ask me a PC question if you have any questions, or just say hi. Ask everyone how their day is going, and we can see how that goes. I'll be right back though. All right. Oh, and by the way, the X5570 when it came out was $1,400. Just make sure I got all my stuff ready for the competition. Make sure I have everything downloaded. I'm gonna have to get rid of some things that are on here, but that's okay. All right, all right. Yeah, it looks like everything I got, everything. I have to get rid of a bunch of things. Like, I did some testing basically on a live stream for some people, like some RuneScape, with their new mods they got for RuneScape Classic and all that. So, yeah. And then like Black Myth, Wukong, Benchmark, Blitz. I have to get rid of a whole bunch of things. Check to make sure I don't have any extra bloatware on my Windows before the test. So I have about 10 days. 10 days, yeah. 10 days to make sure I get my Windows all set up the way I want. I'm not going to reinstall it just because I have everything set up for streaming and all that on this PC. I could switch out the NVMe drive to my other NVMe drive, which is set up with Windows 10 Pro and completely bloatware free and very, very minimal downloads, just strictly for my testing. So like 3D Mark 2001 Second Edition, 3D Mark 03, 3D Mark 11, 3D Mark Vantage, all of them. Also like 3D Mark. Same thing with Geekbench, has all the Geekbench, and Benchmate has all the other tests that I need, which I can show the Benchmate here. So we'll go bobblehead me here. So bring that over. And then, so the back screen for the competition, I'll have to switch the my background screen to the Country Cup 2024 one that they have. So I'll have to do that as well. But this is the Benchmate. I'll have to update the Benchmate, so maybe I'll do that now. I should be able to do it from here. Let's make sure everything's validated. Yeah, I'll have to redo it from somewhere else by the looks of it, but that's okay. But yeah, it has your 7-zip, all your sim benches that you're going to need, your CPU Z tabs, at least 2.0 or higher is what it wants. So I have it all. GPU Z and GPU I, or GPU Pi. Also has two versions of it, 3.2, 3.3.3. It gives you hardware info if you're kind of one of those guys. I use hardware monitors, just quicker and easier, and pretty much the exact same as hardware info. PY Prime, Super Pi, Pi Fast, and W Prime. I did not mean to double click that. And Y Cruncher. Y Cruncher is a stressful test and good for checking to see if your system's all good to go, basically. But yeah, I got a whole bunch: 12600K, 1080 Ti, 3070, 1070, 1070s. Yeah, it's all on this one here. Up to 5.7 gigahertz, which was pretty good. But I might be calling that a stream. I have been streaming for over an hour. Hopefully I can come back on later on tonight. That's depending on how my back feels, to be honest. My back is quite sore from throwing it out yesterday. Doing something very, very simple, but my back is not the greatest. I have L1S6, which is an extra vertebrae in my spine. that has not been fully formed. It's only 3/4 formed, so I can sneeze and throw out my back. But if I generally do things a certain way, I haven't thrown out my back in over a year now, so kind of sucks. I did not get much sleep last night, so we'll see if I am back on later on today. Be Again, this is just part one for the stream. There's gonna be 10 streams and 10 different days of streaming, and that'll be for the X5570. So you just gotta be a subscriber. You gotta just send a message in the chat, and you can win an X5570. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm hoping you're having a good day. Hopefully you have a good night. If I'm not back on later, hopefully I'm back on tomorrow. We'll see how that goes though. As always, don't forget to get her